Hi, my name is Fahad and I'm Senior Consultant in Business Idea Corporate Services, Dubai. We provide you top quality company formation services across Dubai and other Emirates of UAE. Our advisor will work with you in incorporating your company in UAE, and above that, we introduce you to UAE banks. Our services include company and complete business registration services, providing educated and professional local sponsors, fast PRO services at your doorstep, VAT registration and filing services, corporate bank account services, audit and account services, business legal affairs, tourist visa services, global visas assistant, advertising services of your business, and global company formation. So if you're planning to start up a business, Business Idea Corporate Services is the right choice. For more details and free consultation, you can call us on the number shown at the screen or email us at mmk@bizidea.ae or visit our website www.bizidea.ae. We offer guaranteed low-cost PRO services for all the businesses. A professional local sponsor will be provided. Addition to that, we will promote your new business in market. Fix a meetup with our consultant. Choose business activities or nature of business. We will give you all the information you need with cost quotation. And there we are. Our professional team will take care of your business registration process. Save your money and time and get the boost idea of your business, because we have idea and we are your business idea.